This is a closing act that has everyone on the edge of their seats. We go into the final weekend of the campaign with most of the national polls of likely voters indicating a very tight race, and with new questions tonight for President Bush about Iran-Contra. First, the polls. CNN USA Today have a 1-point spread among the likely voters. ABC's likely voters show a 4-point lead for Bill Clinton, but a poll by CBS gives Clinton a 10-point lead. Perot stays in the mid-teens. And tonight, new material that directly contradicts President Bush's claim that he was out of the loop in the Iran-Contra affair. A handwritten note from former Defense Secretary Caspar Weinberger. NBC's John Cochran is with the president tonight at KSDK, our affiliate in St. Louis. John?
Tom, in the final days of the campaign, the last thing George Bush needs is a reminder of the arms for hostages deal with Iran.
While Bush was trying to convince voters they can't believe Bill Clinton, his own credibility was in question. Bush has always said he was out of the loop of information when President Reagan approved the arms for hostages swap. But a federal indictment of former Defense Secretary Caspar Weinberger places Bush at a key meeting. Weinberger's note about a January 7, 1986 meeting says, George Shultz and I opposed. Bill Casey, Ed Meese, and Vice President Bush favored. 2 weeks ago, Bush told Katie Couric he was not present.
What was asked was whether I knew that Caspar Weinberger and Shultz, how strongly they opposed it. And I said to that, there were 2 key meetings where they almost got into a shouting match, I'm told, that I did not attend. I don't believe there's anything in there that's going to contradict the $40 million that has been spent on these hearings. And I don't think anything, I know nothing contradicts what I have said under oath.
The Bush camp hopes the Weinberger note will not slow down the president's advance in some polls. He started the day in Al Gore's home state, Tennessee, where independent polls show Bush very close to Clinton. But this afternoon he was in Missouri, which Bush aides tell NBC News is probably a lost cause. The party's internal polls show Clinton leading by double digits. Bush needs every state he can get, including Alaska's 3 votes. Today, Bush may have picked up some support there by easing restrictions on commercial development of Alaskan wetlands. The Bush campaign figures most environmentalists will vote for Clinton and Gore, whom Bush calls ozone.
Hey, listen, put ozone in there and every worker depends on reasonable balance between the environment and growth and business is going to be out of work.
But Bush did not repeat earlier references to his opponents as far out or crazy or bozos. His aides want him to continue attacking with gusto, but not at the cost of sounding undignified or unpresidential. Tom?
Thank you, John Cochran in St. Louis tonight. Now to NBC's Andrea Mitchell, who's with Bill Clinton in Pittsburgh, where the Iran-Contra affair quickly became the campaign theme of the late afternoon. Andrea?
Tom, the Iran-Contra developments were a gift to Bill Clinton, who has been struggling to counteract Bush's attack on his credibility.
Campaigning in Pittsburgh, Clinton quickly interrupted his schedule to pounce on the revelations in the Weinberger indictment.
Today's disclosure that President Bush knew and approved of the arms for hostages deal with Iran not only directly contradicts the president's claims, it diminishes the credibility of the presidency. Secretary Weinberger's notes clearly show that President Bush has not been telling the truth when he says he was out of the loop.
In Maine, Al Gore also attacked.
I think it's a real bombshell. The memorandum is a real smoking gun. I think it devastates his claim to the trust of the American people.
The news comes at a good time for Clinton. His lead was narrowing. He revisited Pennsylvania, a state that should be solidly his, and will return twice more in the next 2 days. Are you worried about Pennsylvania?
Well, let me say this. I think we have to win Pennsylvania. I've worked hard here, and we're going to keep working hard here. I'm going to be back here.
Wherever he goes, his core message is that he represents a needed change from Bush economics. He even worked it into a response to Bush yesterday calling him bozo and Al Gore crazy.
I'll tell you what I think is crazy. I think crazy is unemployment going up and incomes going down.
Clinton has made light of Bush's latest attacks, thinking they make the president look foolish.
Then he called us bozos. Well, all I can say is Bozo makes people laugh and Bush makes people cry, and America's going to be laughing on Tuesday.
But Clinton is not laughing yet, not with the race tightening up and the recent momentum in Bush's favor.
We've got to keep trying to break through with our message of hope and change. To do that, I've got to press harder, work longer, hit stronger, and that's what I intend to do. I'm going to run like the underdog.
Running like an underdog means a non-stop 24-hour tour of at least 9 states on Monday and Tuesday, hammering Bush on the economy and now Iran-Contra.